Right, I think I might be on. Looks like it. Let me just check my live dashboard. Yeah, so let me just say hello in the old chat. See where we're connected there. And we look to be good. Yeah, nice. Right. So, where we got to, I've now got it so that we get a board, and it's 17 by 17. Reasons for that are that each one of these squares is a clone, and there's a clone limit of 300, which I found out last time. So I can't have more than 300 clones, so this can only be really 17 by 17 size to make it work. And now if I hit space, that's going to take a step on my scene. That's going to start aging all the fishes, and they're going to move around, and they're going to get older and older, and when they finally get to their final day, they're just going to all die. So I need to make some more steps in my system. So the system is going to be, just for a recap, fishes are going to move to a random empty space. Then, if they are old enough to make a baby, they'll have a chance to make a baby, and then to give birth to make a baby fish, and then the baby fish will be born with 40 days left to live, because we're cruel overlords and we don't we want them to have a countdown to destruction. And then we're gonna start to bring the shark's behaviour in. So the fish, they just move, breed, but then we're going to do sharks, and the shark's behaviour is going to be that they will try and eat fish. So they'll go and try and find a fish, and then if they find a fish, they'll go to a random square around the fish, and that's called hunting. Now I might do a hunt. I might do a hunt method, and then potentially have it so that they can hunt more than once. I don't know exactly what the right numbers for this system to actually keep on perpetuating are. Theoretically, all the fish could drown out. Well, no, I don't think that can happen. Potentially, the initial shark could die before they find anything to eat. And if they do that, then the fish will breed, and they'll take up all the space, and then they will possibly just fill up the whole pond forever and ever and ever. There's no contesting for food from the fish. The fish don't eat. It's a very basic simulation. So, theoretically, if the sharks die out, the fish will fill up the whole board, and whenever a space becomes free, the likelihood of the fish breeding and filling up that space will probably mean that the board will just be covered in fish forever. We can give that a go once we get the breeding in place, right? So what I've got right now, and this is the sprite actually, so let's go back to the stage. What I've got at the minute is this is one simulation step here, and this is just fish movement. What I think I'm going to do though is I'm going to make a move fish block. So so the simulation step can start to build up with a set of instructions. That's my move fish, and then I'm going to make a breed fish. So a breed fish will end up looking quite similar to this, but it won't move them. It'll just it'll potentially spawn a new one. But there's some potential here to parameterize this function to either do breeding or moving. But I think for now, keep it simple, and let's just make a breed fish function as well. So let's make a box which is breed fish. And I want to have a percentage chance that the fish can breed as a parameter. So fish spawn chance, or swish. I don't know what I've called them actually. Have I called it percentage? Yeah, but they're not parameterized, are they? So I've got a sorry, just trying to think. So my initial values, fish's lifespans and shark starting hunger, I've just hard coded into there. But actually, I shouldn't do that. I should just change this a little bit. So edit this and add in a couple of things. So that should be fish lifespan and fish starting hunger. No, shark starting hunger. So that goes there, fish lifespan, shark starting hunger, and then over here, so 40 and 10. So that's how hungry the sharks are when they. No, it's not exactly how hungry the sharks are. It's how much energy they've got, because they that will reduce as they get more hungry. This is quite a smart little system that we had. We had the idea of me and my brother, Lady Rankin. We had this idea that if the sharks are negative and the fish are positive, then you can have this board that describes the ocean. 0 is empty. The fish will count down. Every time they move, they'll get older, but the age actually goes negative. So 30, if they go 40, 39, so it's like a countdown to death. But when they're on 1, it goes to 0. That just automatically becomes an empty square, and there's no clever anything going on. It's just you die automatically because you become 0, and 0 is an empty square. So that's a really clever little idea that means that we can represent the state of all of the board in one list. Okay, so I've messed around with that. The reason why I was doing that is because I want to have a variable that's my fish spawn percentage. So this is going to like the percentage chance that they have to spawn, and we'll just set fish spawn percentage to edit. Oh shit! Add a number. Fish spawn percentage. And we're actually fish spawn percentage. Okay, so fish spawn percentage equals fish spawn percentage, and then my initial values here. So those two should really be parameterized as well, but it's tough to sort this out. So that's going to be how likely is it that the fish reproduces every single turn? Well, let's say I start with about 25 to 30 fish when we create a new board. I'll just check that's what's happening, but it should be about that. If I regenerate an ocean, actually I don't need to do this every time. I've got a different way of doing that. If I populate, I've got a thing somewhere to populate the ocean. Where is it? Populate ocean, there you go. So populate ocean, and then if I push spacebar, that'll step. So there's 35 fish in this ocean, 37 fish, 34 fish, 31 fish, so 42 fish. If they had a 100% chance to breed, that would be crazy. Let's say you maybe want a fish to have 2 babies in its lifetime. Does that seem reasonable? 2 spawns in its life? Then over 40 days, you'd want or 2, so you'd want a 1 in 20 chance of a spawn, so that's 5%. Yeah, so say 5% chance to spawn a fish. But that's only if there's an empty space. sorry, I made a little bit of a mess. What's going on? So I actually want an age as well. So adult fish age. So only adult fish can have babies, and adult fish. Oh, my bad. Fish spawn percentage. Add adult fish age. Okay, so actually that's going to change it a little bit. So adult fish can't have babies until they are 5 days old. This is the idea of this is that oh, I haven't got one, so I need to make that as well. So that was adult fish age. Oh no. So then I need to set adult fish age to adult fish age. Okay. So my fish aren't going to make babies until they're 5, and then when they are 5, they have a 5% chance to make a baby for every day of their life until they die. So now we need to make that happen. And we can do it largely by copying the move fish, I think. Define ocean survey. So we're not going to be using a move. What's that? What is that? Is this like a random bit of a block there? A little hole. So let's copy move fish and then you start with that, because I think move fish does a lot of the stuff that we want. It goes through, it sees if there's a fish. Okay, so duplicate that. So breed fish is just moving fish at the moment. But what we want is we want to sleep through all our cells just the same as we did before. And we want to check if it's a fish. So if it's a fish, then, which is here, am I a fish? Now that ocean move status there. That's saying, is this cell already processed? So therefore, should we leave it alone? I think that we might not need that, because they're not going to move, and if they do spawn a fish, it will be brand new, so it won't result in a breed anyway. So a brand new fish can't spawn a new one. So let's take that block out there because we don't need to check that. Oh shit. So that yeah, there. No, there. Okay. That was basically saying if there wasn't already a result inside this ocean move status, but we don't need ocean move status at all for this block here, so delete that. And we can actually not bother clearing it out as well because we don't need it. I'm fairly sure we don't need it anyway. Okay, so if we've got a fish, and then this here reduces the fish's lifespan, and then it checks to see if the fish is still alive. And we don't need that bit either, so those two bits can come out, and that can go in there. Okay. No, but wait. So, undo that. So we don't need to reduce the fish's lifespan anymore. So delete that. This is now saying, am I still alive? But actually what we can do is say, if you are, don't take away one. Don't take away one. Hang on. That's wrong, isn't it? No, it's not wrong. Because that's just weird, but yeah, that's not wrong. Okay, so now I say, I don't need to minus one from that though. Oh, okay. So now I can check if, because this number here is going to be the fish's age, I need to say if it's less than the age of consent for a fish. Oh, I can just swap it around, can't I? So let's swap this box over to here. So if it's right. So I want to basically 40-year-old fish can't breed, and I've said you need to be 5. Oh, hang on, that's interesting. That's wrong, isn't it? Just because of the odd way that this works. Fish lifespan. No, do you know what? Let's do it like that. So they have to be at least 5 days old to breed. So we need to do a negate here. So we need to say fish lifespan minus adult fish age. So that will give us 35. I'm just thinking about this. So 40 is 1. 40 is 0. 39, 38, 37, 36. So 36 is so 35. 30. Think about this. If it says 35, then they're 5 days old, I think, because 40 is 0, 39, 38, 37, 36. 35 is actually 5. Is it 0? 39, 38, 37, 36, 35. So if they're 35, they're 5 days old. So if they equal to, if the fish is equal to or less than 35. So if I say if 35 is bigger than this, no, I need to say that if this is not bigger than, I'll just put a not in there. That helps me, I think, just the way that I think about it. So if the fish is not, if the fish is not big enough, this is not am I still alive anymore. This is am I old enough to give birth? And that's what that question there is asking. Am I a fish? You're a fish. Delete that because we're not going to make him younger anymore. No. I want to delete that one little block there. Okay. This can go. So, am I a fish? Am I old enough to give birth? Okay. Then, that puts in a list of all of the squares around it that are empty. So that's saying, is there any empty cells around it? And then it gets its current cell back because the popular ocean uses find ocean cell, which says, so anyway, it's complicated. But anyway, that makes my result be my current position again. Now, if there's space to breed, so I've got space to breed, then what I need to do to make a baby is as simple as setting the value in one of those empty spaces to the number of fish's lifespan. That's all you need to do. So here, I need to check a random number. This is going to be my random number generator here to see whether I'm going to make a baby or not. So if I make a baby, then and I do that by going random number between 1 and 100 and check if that is less than my percentage. So if a random number is less than, if a random number between 1 and 100 is less than the percentage of a fish spawn, then my fish will spawn. So that's checking. Okay, 5% chance to have a baby. If it pulls it off, and let's put a comment on there. Random chance of giving birth if there's space around. And then what I do there is I simply, that there is picking one of the adjacent random spaces. I don't want to move. All I want to do is delete, is add thing. No, so replace item number this of ocean content. Oh, no, that should be adjacent. Like with, so replace item number this of ocean content with fish's lifespan. Now that should spawn a fish, 5% chance. And I've got this, where's my little thing that checks there? So to simulation step there, okay. Now if I start making simulation steps, we'll see what happens. That just quite rapidly killed all of my fish. So that didn't work. Again, these things are fine in theory, and I just get confused. I mean, that should have worked. You know, I talked everyone through it. It all made sense, and then it just didn't. So now we can try and work out what the hell's going on. If I reset my ocean, I'm going to take out. Where's that? Where's my little thingy there? So that there populates my ocean. So that's back to sensible. Populate adjacent. That should work. So let me just move. Let's take out the move and just put breeding. So there should be just a 5% chance for these fish to breed. That seems to be working there. So it's just started to fill up the grid. But they're all 10 still, which is really weird. Because surely the what's going on? Because they're not even. Oh no, they're not aging. Why are they on 10? Why are they on 10? Someone explain to me why they're all 10. My board is full of fish now. So it seemed to do something, but like, why are they on 10? That is really strange. Okay, populate the ocean. Oh, have I changed the fish's age to 10? Is that why? I've probably done so. Height, width, X position, Y position, grid size, fish lifespan 10, shark starting hunger 10. Oh, I've just got these the wrong way around. That should be shark starting hunger. Should be the fish lifespan. If I populate again, wait, what? That's gone wrong again. Set shark starting hunger to shark starting hunger. Fish starting spawn percentage. Fish lifespan to fish lifespan. Fish lifespan 10, 40. I mean, that is absolutely definitely right there. Oh, I don't understand that at all. What has gone on? Populate ocean here. If shark percentage, then add -1 times shark starting hunger to ocean content. Fish and fish lifespan. Oh, hang on. Has that sorted itself out? Or have I just been stupid? Populate ocean. Oh, I don't know whether I was being stupid or sorting itself out, but basically my fish are now 40, so that's okay. Now run. And are they doing something? Where's the spacebar thing? Interesting. So nothing is happening now. That's, I mean, I don't know whether or not this thing works. What I'm confused about, I'm wondering if Scratch just gets into a state where you just can't do a reset anymore, and you just have to stop it and restart it or something like that. I mean, it could be that I'm just doing something wrong, but it seems no, it's not. It's just not working now. So how can you check? How can you check if stuff is getting done? Is there any way to, if anyone's watching and want to help me out here, I could do with it? Because I'm a bit confused. Maybe if let's change the fish spawn percent to 100. Oh, I know why that wasn't working actually. I think because I'm doing that. I might need to just have that separately. Now, run it. So that should be doing breed, and I've set fish spawn to 100. But I mean, it was doing it a minute ago, and I haven't changed any of the bloody code. So what's going on here? Oh my god. Okay, I've realised what's going on, and what's going on is I'm stupid. Fish can't breed yet because they're not old enough, and they're not getting older because I've taken up the move step. So let's make it a 50-50 shot that they'll breed, and hang on, I need to do that here really. I can play around with my parameters actually and leave what I want here. So I want them to be 5% and 5 age, but up here we can make it 5% whatever. So now if I run it, there we go. 50-50 shot that fish are breeding, and there we go. So this is like they're just filling up now. So that does look like the breed is working. So let's reset the ocean, and let's change this back to what I wanted. So 5% and 5 days old, and then let's put simulation step in with move. So move and then breed, and then run it. Okay, so the fish have moved, and now the move. I mean, that shouldn't be happening. Hang on. Populate step. Right. Oh, but look, that's dramatically is that 28, 28, 28, 28, 28, 30. So some of my fish have bred now. 31 fish, 33 fish, 35 fish. I'm getting more and more fish. So they are breeding. So I don't know why it didn't work before, because like it just seemed to delete all of my fish away. It could have just been to do with values or something like that. But you can see now that they're all starting to fill up. But as they're doing it, I've got various fish of all these different ages in here now, where they've been breeding and dying. So hopefully the fish won't fill up too much space, but let's see what happens. So there's no sharks about, but the fish do die. And it is taking a little while, but it is coming to a point where my fish levels kind of stay. So I've got 125 fish, 124, 119, 120, 133, 122. So my fish levels are kind of equilibrating around this value without there being any sharks, just because they die when they get too old. So it seems like that percentage that I've got there is really sustainable just for a population of fish on their own without any predators. They're getting old enough to die before they breed and fill up the whole thing. Now, I don't know if that's right for what I'm trying to... Oh, 143. I mean, we can run this now quite a lot and just see whether we get full. The fish population is going up a little, 147, 152, 130, so it's dropped again, 112. So it's sort of staying. It went down to 108 there and then back up again, 141, 129, 117, 121. So yeah, this level of fish isn't unmanageable. So what about if we reset our ocean and we change it so the fish are a little bit more likely to spawn? So let's say they've got a 10% chance to make a baby instead. And let's set those. Let's start running that. So they need to get old enough. Now we're going to see the population increasing. And it's going up, 100, but 99 fish. This is weird actually. Although, actually, it doesn't really count how many fish there are. It just counts how many moved, and once you start blocking up the spaces, fish can't move. Alright, so we can just watch this now. It's not getting full, completely packed, but it is. This is actually what I want. I want the fish levels to get to a point where there's just no room left for them to expand. I don't know whether that will happen. But that's a better number, I think. So 10% chance to breed seems a better number to keep the population high when there's no predators. Those sharks are doing nothing right now, but look at how much food they've got. They're going to love that. So let's sort of start working on the shark AI, if you can call it AI. Because I'm happy that the fish are breeding. And let's do a little quick fish count. Let's do some statistics. So make a variable fish count, and let's make a fish and shark count. Fish count, shark count. It shouldn't be too bad just to run through and count the sharks and the fish. So let's just make a block here. Generate stats. Got to generate stats. So we're going to generate the stats, and that's going to have to be, well, actually that can be quite a simple one, because we just need to do repeat. Oh, actually, it's a shame you can't have like a repeat with an increment, but I can just use an index anyway, so that's okay. I'm going to do a method that you normally do in like a more typed out programming language. You know, so I'm a Java developer, so I think in Java this is how I would do it. I would repeat until, and I would get my index, and I would set an index. So set, let's set my variable. I've made these temporary things here, index 1 and index 2. They're just for use in general to repeat until my index. Index 1 I'm using. So until index 1 is greater than the size of my ocean. So you can do that here. So length of ocean, and then I can do this. We do a little check. I want an if else, and then an if. And you want I want item index of item index of ocean content. If item index of ocean content is a greater than 0, then I have a fish. Duplicate that. And if it's less than 0, so if 0 is bigger than ocean content, then I have shark. So I need to set these two here. So I need to set my fish count to 0 and my shark count to 0. Shark count. So my fish count, my shark count. Let's keep those on the screen for now, just for some debugging. And then I need to change fish count by 1 here. And I need to duplicate that, change shark count by 1 here. And then let's just see what happens. So that's my generating stats. So when I do a simulation, simulation stat, I want to generate stats, and that can go somewhere. I don't need that now. Let's see if that works though. So no, it doesn't work. Oh yeah, it does. Stop. I'm going to break this. I need to change index. I always forget to do this. I need to change index by 1 so that I go through each one. Oof, there we go. So 61 fish and 10 sharks. Does that sound right? I don't really know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, that's not right at all. There's only there's only only 5 sharks. Oh, there we go. 6 sharks, 5 sharks, 8 sharks, 2 sharks. That's not working at all, is it? Oh no, it is, because hang on, why is that doing that? Oh, how have I've got populate ocean on the bottom of my bloody stats? That was just wrong. Sorry, I was regenerating my ocean somewhere. So shark count is 5, and my fish count is 33. The fish aren't breeding now for some reason. Why are the fish not breeding now? Have I broken breed? Have I? What? What's going on here? Who's the monkey? The monkey's uncle. So breed doesn't seem to be working anymore, but my counts are. It seems really random sometimes. The functions just turn themselves off or something. Okay. So breeding just happens to be working again now. There must be something hinky going on with that. I don't know what it is. So there's 37 fish, 39 fish, 40 fish. Okay. I'm kind of happy that that is an accurate count of fish. I can try it myself. Just quickly, just to make sure. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 23, 45, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 39, 40, 41. 41. I counted 41. And there's 41, 42 fish now. Let's just keep running it. Remember I changed the percentage to 10, didn't I? But I haven't done that here. That's why they're not going up. So my fish percentage is 10 breeding percentage. So there we go. So they're going up higher. Okay. Only having one shark, that I think my spawn rate of sharks might be a little bit low, but sometimes they can be 10. So I don't know if I want to. I don't know. Okay, so I think that is my fish done. I think I'm happy with fish as a thing right now. They breed and they die. I need the sharks to hunt and eat and breed and die if they're too hungry. So the sharks aren't going to get old and die. As a first pass, I may have it so that they also do that, but that's quite tough. I think the idea behind this is that the sharks, when they give birth, they'll divide their health between them. So you're sort of making one shark split into two rather than it giving birth. But simulation-wise, you can kind of say, well, it's trying to say, well, maybe the mother has two babies and the mother dies, or something like that. But it's just to keep it a little bit more simple. But I just want this loop to carry on. Right, so let's start working with the shark. So first thing the shark is going to do is hunt. So we have made a shark hunting. I think we're going to need the ocean move status here for sharks. And we can use this fairly, this script that's already here, and we can just change it a little bit. So am I a shark? And that will be, we just have to swap that around. So if 0 is greater than the item. If we're a shark, then we need to make the shark. So then we need to make the shark get hungry. So that will be adding 1 to its current number because it's negative. So it's really similar to a fish. So what we can kind of see now is actually I could have swapped those two parts with a number. If I, let's say I multiply that by -1, and then I multiply that by -1, I could have checked if I was a shark and aged or made the or fish. So, but essentially, I could have done the same code here. So if I had a little parameter that said shark or fish, you could do something that's slightly different, but make it so the function would work for the fish and the shark. So I've got a hunt and a move. But let's just see how different they end up, because it might not be worth it. But those are certainly the same. Am I still alive is certainly the same. That needs to swap around again, so that should say if 0 is greater than that, because that means that the shark is still alive. And then we want to populate the adjacent with, this is where it's going to get slightly different, because I want to see if there's any fishes as a first pass. So if I check for fishes, that's what we'll do here. Are there any delicious fishes to eat? So that's saying, is there any fish? Is there any fishes? And you can be like, well, yeah, that's saying there's any fish. That is saying, that's really saying if there's any fish. But that whole block is like, if there's any fish, then and then this bit moves us on top of the fish, which again, that's okay actually, because all that will do is that will erase the fish from existence, because the shark will move on top of it, and that's okay, because we do want that to happen. But what we need to do is, if that does happen, we need to make the shark less hungry. So we need so first thing it's done, delete that. Okay, so that's gone. See if there's any fish, and if there is any fish, then yeah. So if I'm still alive, look for fish. If there's any fish, then I want that to be an if else, because I want to say if there weren't any fish, then just move to a random empty space. So that is going to, so do that, put that in there, chunk that out for that one there. So, oh, have I accidentally just merged it? No, I haven't. So the shark one's getting a little bit more complicated now. So maybe it's not worth trying to make these two things go together. And what I'd say in like a more object-oriented language or anything, I might take this little bit into another function, because I probably have a shark object and maybe a fish object, or just a general animal object, and that general animal object might have some rules in it that call slightly different bits further down, and you can abstract that, and you can make it so that they do different behavior, but a lot of the code shared. But for now, well, I'm never going to be able to do that actually, so I've got to find, let's go on. Okay. That has eaten a, what has it done? That has eaten the fish. So eating the fish, and then I want to check if, well, okay, so now I want to know how much value a fish is worth. Now, there's sort of, I kind of feel like I want to have a baby fish value and an adult fish value maybe. So if I've eaten a baby fish, then it's not worth so much food-wise as an adult fish. And I might do that in a bit. I might do that later. But can we make it prioritize adult fish as well? Maybe if there's baby fish and adult fish in the thing, you'll eat the adult fish instead of the babies. You could do that, but let's not for now. Oh, that I just thought of something really cool. Hang on. So sample. Sample. Was it already? Was it? I've already done like a. Was it 4 that I did on the others? Um, I'm just looking for the adult fish. So if it's greater than that, then switch to fish. And then I need an else if this is, it's a bit that's done in a bit of an ask about face way, but I'll just sort of try and sort it out in a minute. Oh no, that if it's greater than that, that's baby. That's fish. Are there no babies? Oh, there are. Okay. That's pretty cool. I like that. So I've done it so that babies, I think I've done it so that babies are little. Yeah, so that's a baby and it's a little square. I'm happy with that. I mean, it's cool. So the babies can't make babies. Um, so what was I doing? Right, I was in the middle of trying to make the sharks do their stuff. So let's go hunt. Um, I need to have a food value for my fish. Fish food value. And the fish food value will be set as part of my initial variables. So fish spawn percentage, adult fish age, and add comment. Um, right, so let me add in a new variable, fish food value. And let's just make it 5 for now. Because fish food value, I think, set, fish food value to 5. And then, so that the idea of that is so that I can make the sharks eat the fish, and if they eat the fish, then they get less hungry because the shark. I don't think my shark is doing anything. Um, this is definitely not right here. Because it's just definitely not right. That I think I have a problem with maybe with ocean move status in move. I shouldn't have. So there should be a little move function somewhere. Define move. delete, that's it. So that move should be alright. So that should just overwrite the fish. So when you run it, it should do that. It's really strange. It's doing something, but I don't know what. Because oh, hang on, I'm being an idiot. Because this is definitely not working. Because it's being weird. Like it's putting loads of stuff in the move status. That sort of suggests that I'm duplicating the sharks. Yeah, I don't know how I managed that. They all got hungry and died though. Let me just reset the ocean because that was not supposed to happen. Where is it? I have a little reset. I had a little reset ocean floaty thing. Is that it? Population. There you go. So do that. Now, bunch of baby fish and some sharks. Now, when I did the hunt, I'm increasing the shark count. And I mean, that's yeah. I don't know what happened. What's going on there? But it's not working clearly. The idea should be that the shark count. Oh, actually, I don't think I'm changing my counts, am I? Oh no, I'm putting the generated stats there. What? My skins have got confused, maybe? Zero, there was. What the absolute shit has happened there? I think my sprites, I think the sprite script might be a little bit wrong for costumes. If my content is greater than fish lifespan, else if my content, if zero go my content, I should be doing it like this. If else if it's just greater than zero, else that, else sets ocean into ocean. That just makes more sense. So really? Really? How on earth are you doing that? I think you're broken, aren't you? You must just be broken. So it says I've got 3 sharks, 32 baby fishes. Actually, I can't see 3 sharks on the map though. I can only see 2 sharks on the map. Oh, actually, I don't think I've set the stats. Have I? Let's go back to the stage. This doesn't set the initial thing doesn't generate stats. Okay, so two sharks. So that's right. That's what I want to see. And if I did hunt, so this is it's duplicated the sharks, but it shouldn't have done anything unless there was a fish near them. Let me just start again. That is not working, is it? That is just not working. Oh, maybe. Okay. Anyway, I've got 4 sharks now. Have I? No, I haven't. So I've got 3 sharks. Let me just. Actually, I don't want that there. I want that on my when spacebar, simulation step. Come over here. I need to play with you guys. Right. So I can reset my ocean when spacebar is pressed. Do a simulation step, broadcast, and then do that. I want my simulation step to be delete that. I want my simulation step to be my blocks. Let's go home. So what is going on here? It's hard to see. There's minus ones now. So the sharks all died, but they didn't do anything, and they got more numerous first. So I've got 2 sharks, and then if I run it, I was ended up with like 3 sharks. Yeah, but I think that's because they couldn't eat. So let me just reset until I get fish next to sharks next to. Well, I've got 9 sharks. Right, so sharks are next to fish now. Okay. Yeah, so what we just saw was they didn't delete themselves. Move result. That would be why. That would be why. That would be why. Now, because I changed the number of the previous one, so I ended up making a little shark. So there we go. So that was the sharks eating, and that they've got some sharks have got more energy now than they started with. So the sharks were eating, and then right, that's good, that's so good. So now I need to say, well, I didn't find any fish. So now I just need to find empty spaces. Okay, so I'm going right. There wasn't any fish. So I didn't find fish around me. I didn't find any fish around me, and I didn't. Well, that's it. So I didn't find any fish around me, so I didn't eat. And I haven't moved, so if there was no fish around me, then check empty spaces, and then you could do the same thing if there are any empty spaces. But I think that just needs to be an if now. So if there are any empty spaces, then move to an empty space. Delete. Okay, so now that should be my sharks hunt. That should be, excuse me. Excuse me. Well, right. So now let's repopulate the ocean and then start to simulate sharks. Now sharks won't breed now, but they're going to eat fish if they can, and if not, they'll move randomly. So there you go. So the sharks are at 7, and we're just going to go and mop up fish, and they're going to hope that they find a fish before they die. And moving around, chomping the fishes up. This shark, it's just, there you go. And that's all what I expected. That was quite good there. So they all sort of flopped around everywhere, and they were like, "Where's the fish? Where's the fish?" And if they ate it, then they got to live longer, and then they kept on eating, and eventually they died because the fish weren't breeding. So without shark breeding, let's simulate fish moving, fish breeding, sharks hunting, and let's reset the ocean and see what happens. Okay, so fish are gonna live and they're gonna grow up, and the sharks are gonna go and they're gonna eat fish. This is without new sharks being able to be born at all. And my sharks, they've gone down to 4, just sort of trying to hunt the fish. But they're chomping them all up now. Yum, yum, yum. Of course, the more the sharks eat, the less fish there'll be. But the more fish there are, the more chance. What's going to just happen is, and this we'll probably just see a population of sharks just staying at 4 now. There's going to be plenty of food for them to eat, so they're just going to be chomping around. Let's see how much power some of my sharks have now. So let's look for some of these negative numbers in here. There, oh, look, there we go. Look. That shark, 480. He is going to be happy days. He ain't dying anytime soon. He's going to have to move through 480 steps without finding a fish. So that's not going to happen. So they're just going to chomp up everything they can find. And this could go on forever, but the fishes they're going to breed up and fill. Sharks are just living it up really right now. They're like, hell yes, there's so much fucking food for me to eat. Right. Seems to be working pretty well. Alright then, sharks now need to breed. So, here's a question. Do we breed inside the hunt function or not? I reckon that what we want is a how do we want this to work? Do we want to go move fish, move sharks, breed sharks? But I think hunt, they shouldn't just go one square. I think sharks should be able to go like a few squares to find food per thing. So they'll go 1, 2, 3. They might chomp up 3 bits of food as they go, and then I want it to be so that the higher the shark's energy, the more likely they are to produce an offspring, to give birth. I think so. We can go to. I think let's copy the breed fish function. So this is going to be the breed sharks now. So let's create that. Now we have a percentage chance that fish will breed, but I think the shark should be defined based on how much energy they've got over the sort of full happy shark. So a full happy shark, let's say, is at 10. So every point above 10, it's got a chance to spawn a new shark. So we'll go like essentially, if they end up at 100 food, they're 100% chance to spawn. So let's try that, okay? So we need to say, am I a shark? So how did we do that? We just swapped around the thing, like this. That's like, am I a shark? Yeah. And then we said, well, am I old enough to give birth? For a shark, what's that? So for a shark, what is my train of? So I've lost my train of thought there. For a shark, what we want to happen is what we want to happen. So am I a sharky shark? I don't really need that am I old enough to give birth section because that it'll work that out itself based on the maths that I plan on doing. So we could avoid that. So random chance of spawning. Let's put the random chance of spawning with we'll put the random chance of spawning shark starting start hunger. Where is that shark starting hunger, right? So that'll put in a shark there now. In a random position in the adjacent list. Delete that. But we'll put this. So am I shark? Yeah. If we put that, oh god, am I shark? What did I just do? That I want the random number to be there. So am I shark? Yes. And then this random number is going to be pick a random number between 1 and 100. And is that number less than the current value in the cell, which will be that, but I want to take away the starting hunger. So current value in a cell, and we need to inverse that because can you do abs? Yeah, let's just do that. Abs value of that. The absolute value of my cell. I wanted to keep that. So the absolute value in the cell minus shark start hunger. So unless he's over his starting hunger, he ain't going to breed. So where is the shark start hunger? So where is that? Get rid of that. Delete. Sharks starting hunger. Okay. So if I take my cell and I've got 10 in there, if I take my cell and I've got 11, then I have a 1% chance to breed because I'm 1 over my starting hunger. So 1% chance to breed. If I so I think that's too high, to be honest. I think you may, I don't know, we'll see what happens. But if I am, so if I basically am on 50, then I've got 40% chance to breed. But what will happen is that they're going to split that out. So if that is less than that, so if that's 1, then that's less than 1, whatever. Pick a random number. Yeah, okay. So that's you're pretty much guaranteed a breed if you get to like 110 fish health. You're definitely going to split. Okay, so then how do we do split? So we go find the current cell and we find the ocean cell and we place the item in that cell with what is that? That's making a new shark. But I don't actually want it to be that. I want it to be result over 2. I want it to be that divided by 2. And I want it to be floored. So floor of that. Let's copy that. I don't need to negate that actually. But I actually want to do that. Delete. Duplicate. So that should split the health. Why am I still doing this? Well, because I was obsessed with wanting to do it the whole weekend. So definitely going to give birth if there's space. So check around me, look for empties. There's empty space. Now, should we have it so they can spawn into fish? No, we won't do that. Right, breed sharks should now be operational. Should be fully operational, just like my battle station. Right, let's reset the ocean and let's get my breed shark function in there. Okay, so I've got two sharks, and they're gonna go start moving around. So two sharks moving, two sharks moving. One shark eats, is eating again. So they're gonna go sweep up fish, and they might die. So they're gonna keep sweeping up the fishes. One of them died because he didn't eat enough fish. So at the minute, it's like they're not. I can't really check if they're gonna breed because, well, I can actually. So that there's a shark now. He's in number 20. He's in like 30. Where is he? Where's that shark? Can we find it? Actually, can I just make a shark? Can I edit that cell? Yeah. So I can make a shark. Actually, let's make a shark that's definitely going to breed in that cell there. Can I broadcast? So I've got two sharks now, and that one up there, he's definitely going to spawn because. Oh no, he won't necessarily because he's going to move first, and when he moves, well, let's just do the breed. So I'm going to run breed. Oh, he didn't do it. He didn't do it. Well, that didn't work then. So breed shark is not working. But I mean, what do I expect? Nothing I try works the first time. So how can we work out where we're getting tracker? I'm making a variable called tracker, and I'm going to set tracker to oh, this isn't going to work, is it? Well, because someone's checking if 0 is greater than 0. What the hell is that supposed to be? If 0 is greater than 0? What is that? Okay. Am I a shark? Yeah, this isn't going to work quite so well. Duplicate that. Oh God, what have I done? Stop this nonsense. Oh, I think they might have just had loads of babies there without me checking. Because wait, um, ah, so can I have it? So these things don't seem to bloody stay where you left them. Right, reset the ocean. No, no, just do that. Yeah, there we go. So those sharks up there are breeding because they're like spawning out from the big mummy shark, but the big mummy shark can't have a baby anymore. But actually, it didn't divide its own health. It was supposed to divide its own health. Why didn't it do that? Let's reset the ocean again. Um, that's supposed to be -110, and then it should breed. Yeah, that's spiraled out of all control there because it did put one in. Hang on, replace item result. Replace item result with JSON list. Oh, that's right, because that's just totally wrong. Delete that. So do that. What's happening? I've got that same problem where if I put a new shark somewhere, then it doesn't know it's new, so it picks that one up and makes that one breed as well. So I don't want that to be able to happen. But you can see that it did just make a -55 shark and another -55 shark. But then when it picked that one up, it made so it should be that item number 19 in this list is and number 20 are both sharks, and there's so why didn't 19 divide? That's weird. Because that went down to 55. That went down to, where's number 19? Come on. That went down to 55. That one went down to 10. Oh, maybe that wasn't a breed. That was just already there. Oh, I didn't see it. I don't know. Right. So there are eating now. Breed shark. And why have I called it that? I mean, whose idea was that? Did it? So, baby shark. So my simulation step is move fish, breed fish. Let's go hunt baby shark. And let's reset. This is weird. Like it's not picked up that this has changed. Oh, and move fish. Okay. So my sharks are breeding. It looks like the sharks are going to end up killing all the fish. But just as they start to reduce the population, the fish can kind of break away and start to find new new areas to start exploring in and breeding in. The sharks look like they're going to die out because they've run around not finding anything. But hey, guess what? They found some fish. Yes, we found fish. Excellent. Oh, now the sharks are eating all the fish. They're breeding like mad. They're like, hell yes, look at all these foods. And oh, the sharks have eaten all the fish. Now that is not what we wanted to happen. So that is a that is a too many. That's one of our basically one of our values, or one of our numbers that we're starting with is too high. And it could be that the chances of sharks breeding are a little bit too high. I think that's possibly what we're looking at. What number do I want there? 63. How much health has this shark got left? No, he's about to die anyway, so yeah. Just delete that. What else did I delete? So how do I want that to work? Oh, okay, let's just test breeding sharks quickly. Whilst this is all not there, baby shark. So minus 110 in number 1. So now if I do baby shark and then do baby shark, baby shark, baby shark, baby shark. So I sort of divided that power out between them all. Yeah, it has, yeah, okay. What I actually need to do is make it so that if I'm putting new sharks into an area, I need to say I've already processed them. So it's the same thing as this movement block that I've got over here. I need to say ocean move status, so duplicate ocean move status stuff. And then I need to move that. Is some delete? It does move put the thing into ocean move status? I think it does. Place item result of ocean content. Ocean move status. I think the move method might be doing that. Where's move? Where are you? Move, 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 move. That's that move set. Yeah. Add that to ocean move status. So that is doing that. Yeah. It probably shouldn't really, but I think it's fine. So I want to oh man, delete block, delete block. Oh, how? Why is that? Oh, it doesn't matter. Variables, lists, delete all of ocean move status. And then I want that. Delete, copy, duplicate that. And then I need to put this. If I'm a shark. Well, I don't need to check if I'm a shark. If the result is in ocean move status. Pointless. Right, so let's populate my ocean again. Now, I need to that number there. Can't do that. Can't do that. I need another variable. So set index 1 to this. So that's what that's done is that's just found me that random number that I want to change, because I need to set the item, and I need to is that right? Oh yeah. Yeah, because it's saying is that cell in there, I think. So if I make if I make a shark in here, then I do my simulation step, which should be no, I just want to do breed. Well, that definitely should not happen. Oh. So I'm trying to make it so that so that didn't work, because it put it still bred the shark again. But it shouldn't have done that, because that should have checked 2. It shouldn't have done that. Why has it done that? Oh, it's because that should be that. That should be that. That should be that. I think. I think. Let's try that again. Minus 110. Now we do a breed, and you can see that that's gone down to. Oh, so then let's just do that. We've got 2 sharks now. I think that might have worked. I mean, I can test it a bit better than that, because you can, if I reset my ocean again. Actually, let's make an empty ocean, and then put in a oh, that's annoying. Okay. Oh, that square's in the wrong shape of bloody place. Come on, get in there. Right, forget that. I'll just redo that in a minute. Let's set the ocean to minus 110. No, if I set it to like 1,000, then it should make two 500 babies, right? So breed. It didn't do that. Oh, what? Why didn't it do that? Oh, because I've made a baby fish. I made a really super young baby fish. Now it's made of minus 500, and we've got two sharks at 250. Hang on, how did that happen? Oh, it's because I've ran a simulation step. Ugh, hang on. Empty ocean, minus 1,000. So one shark who's got loads of energy, massive amount of energy. Now do baby shark, and then broadcast that. So now I've got two sharks, and that's got minus 500, minus 500. So it's not cascade breeding them now, which is good. I don't know if it would have really been doing that anyway, but it's not doing that now. I think that I need to do a little bit more adjustment to the breeding. So let's take the difference between the starting hunger and the content, and let's divide that by 2. So now it's half as likely as a shark that a shark's going to breed. Oh no, it's not, because that's not how it should be. Undo. So the absolute value of the item minus the shark starting hunger, that gives you will you just move, you little shit? And if I divide that by 2, then that's like it was a 10% chance if you were on 20, but now it's only 5% chance if you're on 20 health. Okay, now let's reset. So we've reset, and let's hope we've got some sharks. We've got one shark there. We've got 2 sharks, I think. Now let's just, you can hide this shit now. I want that actually. I just don't want those anymore. And then if I press space, I get simulation step, and then I want that. Well, I don't know if that should have happened. I don't think that should have happened at all. Oh. I've somehow made it a 50% chance that a shark's going to reproduce. What did I do? I put that in the wrong place, didn't I? Yeah, that should go there. Reset. What was it? 10 and 3 or something? Can't remember. What have I started? What's my normal ocean values? 10 and 2. Well, let's go 10 and 3 because I want some more sharks. Right. Now, instead of me doing that constantly, let's just forever. Wait. Oh. So every half second it should do it now. I think I've got it so that I've made too many sharks again. But if you can see there, they are dying out. It's possible that the fish might get a little foothold and start to reproduce, but I don't want the shark to die out either. So, oh, the shark managed to breed there. That's cool. It's a bit touch and go. Oh yeah, there we go. The sharks have all died out. So my values are maybe there's not enough sharks now. Let's just reset. Can we stop that? Yeah. So now there's a little bit more chance of sharks to spawn. Well, I made a pop sound whenever there's a new shark. So the fish, there we go. Sharks are happy now. There's loads of fish, and they're like, hell yes, give me some of that fish. So they're now thriving, and you get loads of fish happening, loads of sharks happening. They've just rinsed the fish now. So it's gonna, see now the sharks have died out because they rinsed the fish and then they just didn't have enough staying power. What about if we make them less likely to breed, but make fish, eating a fish be worth more than just 5. So let's give a fish value 8. This is going to be pretty difficult to get it to go right, but still. So here we go. 4 sharks. See, now they are going nuts. So I think that sort of meant that they had loads of power, but they're like, yes, please give me those fishies. But I think the problem now is that they're all going to be, yeah, the sharks are just going to absolutely rinse the fish. Well, I think I'm still going around in a loop, aren't I? So stop. Yeah, so now it's all about tweaking those numbers to try and understand how it should work. Maybe the fish should be less value, but the thing is, if fish are worth less, my worry is that the sharks will, once the fish numbers dwindle, they won't be able to find them. I wonder if we go, fish aren't worth loads. What I was thinking before is that you give the sharks more chance to find food. So breed baby shark. Where's baby shark? Baby shark is over here. So baby shark happens. This is the thing that I'm not sure about. How we decide how much to breed the sharks. I think we will do not forever. Repeat until repeat until. What am I looking for here? Shark count and fish count. Shark count plus shark count plus fish count equals 50. Actually, no. Repeat until what I've got now is the sharks don't get a lot of value from the fish, but they're quite likely to breed if they manage to get over a certain number. So there's going to be jumping up all those fishes now. This is where you expect the shark count to increase. So there's too many sharks. There was too many sharks then. Oh no, they ate all the fish. They ate all the fish. So I wonder if there's a way to... I want to try having them hunt twice. Populate. Okay. I think hunting twice meant they aged twice as long. So that's, sorry, that was silly. In Let's Go Hunt, we'll change it to have a speed. So if it's, so we reduce its age and then we go like populate adjacent. So here, if I'm still alive, we just need to repeat that. Events like control, repeat. Speed. Let's go hunt 2. So that would make them age once but have 2 movement. Let's reset the ocean and start. Yeah, once they get high enough, they're just going to wipe them out. Right. Forever. Populate ocean. Broadcast ocean changed. Generate stats. Delete. So I'm just doing that. That should. That's not working. Stop. 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 That's wrong. The sharks are clearly wiping out the fish. I could just take that out. I mean, that's suggesting that a constant fish victory is, but that's not what we actually saw. Stop. Set that. Populate. Do that. Repeat until simulation step. Stop. I mean, I don't know whether the grid is just too small for like fish to find a little foothold, but why did that say fish victory there? Like, absolutely not true. If the shark count is 0, then change fish victory by 1. Have I got a shark count wrong? Repeat until generate stats. Repeat until shark count is 0 or fish count is 0. Have I got fish and shark count the wrong way around? I definitely haven't. That doesn't make sense. Is anybody watching that's able to comment on what the hell that was going on? Why is it saying fish victory? If shark count is 0, but it's not, because it's just generated the stat, which made it stop. So shark count because oh no, the sharks are going to run out there. The sharks did run out there. And the sharks. Oh, 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 oh. Oh. Yeah, it seems to be that sharks now, they're just not got enough survival. Right, let's make it more likely that the fish can breed. Where's my ability to set stats? Do you know what? You know what I could do? I could make it so that these randomized, and then if it just carries on going forever, then I know I've got a good set of numbers. So just playing around down here with them. Defaults. The other thing is the way the sharks breed. I may not have done very well. Just if they I don't know. So adult fish age, fish food value, fish spawn percentage. So they've got a 10% chance. Let's make it. Let's give the fish a little bit higher chances of spawning. Because really, what determines the but the thing is, sometimes the sharks are good enough to survive. So if we give a fish a higher chance of spawning, I think we need to make the sharks have a slightly lower chance of spawning. Let's take that out. So there's a 50-50 there's a 0.5% chance of spawning of the higher than one. That's not huge, is it? Let's just do that. So that makes it less than. Right, let's try that. So when the fish have a breakaway, they're going to start going mental. And when the shark, yeah, see that was too much there. The sharks. Trouble is, I think maybe the sharks. Maybe I should have it so that the sharks can't get hungrier than they can't get. I don't know. Or does the fish break away there? Yeah. So you could have it so that the sharks can't get super powerful. But then I think that's more like a guaranteed split. If you make a guaranteed split, because you think really shark breeding is keeping the power of the sharks the same, but making the population live for a small amount of time. Yeah, the sharks just once they lose sight of the fish, they don't. I think that is indicative of needing more fish value, more fish breeding value. So now the fish have got higher chance of breeding, but then they're still not. They're still getting wiped out. Yeah, I think the sharks. Shouldn't get too powerful. It's like you want it might just be that this grid is not big enough to sustain what I want to happen. The thing is that actually what I've done by making it so that fish have a huge chance to reproduce is I've made it so that the sharks are winning like constantly now. I think that just means that there's a bit too much fish food power. Let's reduce the fish food power a little bit. Still winning. Baby shark. Maybe the hunt power is too much now. Yeah, they still got too much. The sharks are really nailing it. I think it does make sense because they're going to grow to huge numbers, and the fish are just giving them so much power that they're able to just slice a massive chunk out of them, and then as soon as they get Yeah, like here, the fish are really, really spreading out. But the thing is, that just makes it so much food for the sharks, so they're like, oh, yes, please. And I think that that's the problem. I think the sharks might need to max out their hunger. Because then if they max out their hunger, it means that they've got quite a small amount of time to try and find fish to eat once the population comes down. But the fish are going to be breeding pretty fast, so Phew. Right. I think what I'm going to need to do on this one is go away and find maybe some numbers that work to try and sustain this. I've just been making this up, but I don't really know what. This one's been on for ages. Okay, I'm going to add in just a quick little thing. Variable add some steps and max some steps. Some steps can be forever. So some steps choose 0. Set max some steps to some steps. Change some steps by 1. Control F. There's one shark here. We're starting up with one shark. Oh man, the fish won then. That's weird. The sharks were winning constantly, now the fish are winning. Oh, I know why that is. It's because I've not done that. what's going on. So I've got everything working. It's all going around, but what's happening is that pretty much every time the sharks are just eating, breeding, and then wiping the fish population out. So you can just see, basically, just watch, like, there's every time all the fish get wiped out. I've put a shark victory. It's not exactly a shark victory. They've just made each other extinct. But there you go. It's another one. So what I'm trying to do is make it so that really what I want is that they just last forever. And the sharks dwindling means that the fish go on the rise, and the fish dwindling means the sharks start to dwindle, and the fish can then. So it's supposed to be a balance. But so this is something I've got wrong in the way that it's working. It just doesn't keep it cycling. So some of these values here you can just change around, like I can make the fish be worth more or less food value. So let's make the fish worth less food value, and then increase their chances of breeding a little bit. Then when the next simulation rolls around, and what I've got there is max sim steps. So I'm trying to see whether I can get the longest simulation. So that should just change if there's more steps in this simulation, it'll go up higher once it ends. But look, the fish have just wiped them all out again. Oh, is it still going actually? 54.4. Yeah, so the sharks have just wiped out the fish again. They're just constantly wiping out all the fish. Let's make the fish worth 1 food value. I think my problem is that once the fish grow in numbers, the sharks can eat so much that they basically become immortal. They've got so much time to search for more fish that they can just keep going. So they're going to start wiping them down. Yeah. I think what I need is like a maximum health for the sharks. So they can't eat and just get more and more powerful. But even then, they can divide and breed. But yeah, the sharks they're too good. This figure here in Baby Shark, where's Baby Shark? This determines how well, actually, I could do this. But let's try the maximum hunger thing out. So am I a shark? Random chance of giving birth. So that's the birthing unit. I want hunting. So let's go hunt. So this is on. Are there any delicious fishes to eat? So that's going to check if there's any fish. But I think should I do baby fish give the same food value as big fish? No, they don't. I could actually change it so baby fish are less foodie as well, but I don't. So they basically. I increase this guy by his fish food value if he eats here. Fish food value. Keep your maximum. So I could make it so they only eat if they're hungry. Otherwise, they just swim around randomly. The thing is that they don't. The thing is to do that. I think to make it so that baby fish give you. You'd sort of do, but they move, if they don't find any adjacent fish, they move like a fish anyway. So I can just go if they're hungry. So it's if that, and then then it's just this bit. But the trouble is that doesn't really work because you want it, because you're saying if there's any adjacent fish. Otherwise, so I need to say if there's any adjacent fish, or they're hungry. But then I have to populate the adjacent fish thing first, which is dumb. So I can. How do I check if you're hungry? Right? How do I check if you're hungry? Item result of our ocean content is you're hungry if your shark starting hunger times 2. If your absolute, let's get your absolutes. Absolute value of this is less than shark starting hunger times 2, then you're hungry. Otherwise, you won't eat a fish. So if you're not hungry, you won't eat a fish. I think that should have changed it. So now the sharks won't eat if they're not hungry, but they're going to be hungry pretty quickly. But it just means that even if they're surrounded by fish, they aren't going to kill them. This one seems to be doing a bit better, but the sharks are still going to wipe the fish out. There they go. But that did last much longer. Yeah, so I have done if the fish is if there's any fish. The only reason I didn't like that is because you're doing that, but it means you're populating the adjacent to look for fish anyway. Like I shouldn't really need to look for fish if I don't want to eat. But then the else bit doesn't work because it's like if I I'd have to duplicate the else block to do it twice. But I don't really want to do that. Yeah, what do you mean by an if gate? Because what I'm saying is that if I put in a if I'm hungry, I have done that. Yeah, but I don't want them to just move to. If you put an if gate in, it'll go if I'm hungry, then eat, and then it will move anyway, which means it will move, it will eat and then move, or it will just move. But I don't want that. I want it to eat or move. If I want it to eat or move, then I first have to say if you're hungry. So that's what this is doing. That's saying eat or move, eat or move, eat or move. But you have to do this bit first. This one is making it last longer, and I thought it would. That's good. That's good. It's not perfect yet though. But why do I want them to eat or move? I don't want them to eat and then move. I want them to eat or move. Because because eating and then moving, when they eat, they move into the space that they've eaten from. So that means they can move 2 squares if they eat and then move. Yeah, so here the fish are really piling up. I think I need to make the sharks breed a bit more often now, because this is hardly ever going to come into effect. And now I've just made him wipe it out. I think the issue is you really want it so that it's starting to make a dent in the fish population. And the fish get reduced, and as the fish get reduced, the sharks go on the incline like this. But then some of the sharks that are just stuck at the back that can't get to any fish are going to start dying. But the others are just wiping the fish out too quickly. So that I think I've potentially made them breed too much there. If the fish can't move, they should die. Well, I mean you could do that. The thing about that is that will mean the sharks will win. I mean, the sharks are winning, but I guess the sharks are winning because there's too many fish, which sounds silly, but it's like eventually. I mean, I can change and I've actually made fish only give them 1 energy as well. So now, like sharks are having to eat. Sharks are having to eat 10 fish to not be hungry. But when they get to like maximum, let's see if this is wiping out. It's wiping the fish out. Maybe make the fish be worth more hunger value. Cool, those fishes are really spread out there. You definitely do not need fish food. That is not how these simulations work. The fish are fine. You just assume the fish can eat. I think let's try the die though. Let's try if they can't move the die. So you go like this. If they can move, Okay, so now fish die if they can't move. I think. That doesn't seem to be happening though. No. Ocean content. Now fish die if they can't move. The fish can breed infinitely. What keeps the fish population in check is the sharks. Because when there's loads of fish, the sharks should increase in population. The problem is, when there aren't many fish, the sharks should dwindle, but they don't, they just wipe them out. But it isn't wrong that fish can breed infinitely. That is how this, I mean, I've written something like this before, it was years ago, but it is right that the fish don't need to eat. Because it doesn't matter, you're just simplifying the population. Like you can just tweak the fish numbers to say, well, it's sort of as if they had eaten. That's not working now. I think what you need though, you got to have it. The point is the balance has got to be that the fish, if they get a little breakaway area, then they should be able to survive. But when the sharks there, they're digging a hole in the fish, and they're going to breed because they're going to start to reproduce and make a bunch of them. And as that starts happening, they should be able to start reducing the fish population. But what now should happen is there's so too few fish for the sharks, and they should die because they can't eat. What about changing this? Because that'll affect a couple of things. That'll affect how long the sharks have got before they die, because the maximum hunger. That's the underlying issue, is you really want it so that if a shark can't find food for a certain amount of time, it just dies. So let's set them to 5 hunger. But let's make a few more sharks when we start, just to make sure they can survive. The thing what you're saying is if a fish can't move, then it dies. Makes sense, because that means that it just doesn't eat. Like you can say, oh, a fish has to move through an empty space, and that counts as it eating some plankton or whatever. So you can go by that as saying, well, if a fish can't move because it's totally surrounded, then it's starved for food, so it dies. And I think that's a good idea, because and that's what's happening now. So fishes, if they cannot move, they die. And that controls the population to a point that means that the sharks aren't getting too much food, in theory. That lasted way longer than normal, so that's getting somewhere. "521 steps is the longest I've got it to go for, so something good's happening. I think now the sharks need to reproduce quicker. So baby shark, where baby shark? Well, half of the food. I make them give half the food of an adult, probably. Thing is, I think that's not a bad idea, but I don't really know how to do it because, well, you can, but so the shark's eating. Um, so the run is going to eat. The problem is you need to have it. You need to do this really because you want to know what your fish is. So it's eating, right? So it's found some food. It's going to eat. Um, so that's basically that's the square that it's going to move to now. So I want to move it to index 1. No, so that's not right, is it? With floor of item result over 2. What the fuck? What have I done? That's not right. Set index 1. Oh no. That bit there is not right. Because that's doing the that's the new position. Item index 1 is the new position. So index 1 is item random of JSON list. So that whole thing goes away because I'm moving to index 1. If I'm going to move to index 1, what happened there? So now the item the item replace, that's the number I want. I want the I want items of ocean content plus item index of, duplicate that, of item result. No, because that's you need the only you can't fucking do it. You can't do an inline if on a bloody line, can you? You can do this. I just need to add a control in. So now I need to say if else. No, it goes under that. Right, so delete that. So if item at index, so if item at index is a baby fish, so that's this fish lifespan minus fish spawn percentage minus adult fish age. So if if it's greater than that, it's a baby. So if the value of item index of ocean content, item index of ocean content is greater than that, then delete. I need math floor of fish food value of 2. So that is, I think, doing that. Yeah, so if that is greater than that, then baby. So I think babies now give half the amount of food as adults do. I don't know whether that helped at all, but I think that's what it's doing now. But I still haven't beaten 521, have I? But I've got a bunch of fish victories now, apparently, so... that means that my sharks can die out. Bah. What about if we make the fish live shorter lifespans? Thing is, you can play with this stuff all day. I don't really know the theory enough behind it. And now I've made a bunch of code changes that I don't know whether we're even accurately doing what they need to do. So I think what happened there is the shark died, and that was unfortunate. Really, the fish had broken away there. The sharks had wiped out a load of fish, and then they all wiped themselves out. So it's like the sharks don't have enough lifespan now. The other thing that you could try as well is I've got all these different numbers in here. What are they? Oh, where to draw it? That's better. So this, these things, which is like your fish lifespan, your shark's starting hunger, your fish spawn percentage, your adult fish age, and your fish food value. You could check. Oh, hang on, look. See, that's sort of what you want to happen there. They dwindled, but the fish managed to get a foothold, but the sharks still managed to stay alive. Now I could fudge it, essentially having it so. No, but then the sharks wiped them out, and I still haven't beaten 521. Don't know what the hell values make 521. Anyway, what you could do is you could set up a bunch of simulations, and you could run each one with a bunch of just random figures in here, and see how far they get. So you can put a bunch of random figures in, and run it say 1,000 times, see what the maximum number is, and then do another set of random numbers, run that 1,000 times. So you can build up sets. So this one here, it had a bunch of random numbers in it, and it lasted the maximum of 1,000, and this one lasted 200. So then you go, oh well, this one lasted 1,000, and this one lasted 1,200. So what about if I take some values from here and some values from here, and I make a baby, you make like a baby simulation or make a few bad, like genetic. It's like this is like genetic algorithm. So basically, you would go, okay, make some babies from the two adults, and then you've got a bunch of baby simulations, and they run, and if any of those are higher, then you cross the higher ones together, and you make more simulations. So you're kind of generating simulations until you get a bunch of variables that work, that make it so that these things last. Yeah, I think in the situations where the sharks are dying out, um, the sharks just don't have enough time to go find their food. So let's put go hunt up to 2. Yeah, the sharks are very quickly killing thingy now. Ah, I think go hunt is probably right as it at 1. Oh, they're just staying still now. I think I've just made the fish at a massive disadvantage now. They need to be able to breed quickly. And they need to be able to breed quickly for 2 reasons. One, so they can keep their population when the sharks are about to wipe them out. And 2, so that sharks can, oh my god, look, oh, that poor shark just didn't make it there. Ah. But now when there's too many sharks, they're just going to wipe out. I just can't get higher than 521 now. Oh, it's just the best simulation I had. I don't know whether that was because I changed some figures in the middle of it though. Oh, it just pushed them right into the corner, destroyed them. Yeah, I wonder as well with this if the problem with this is that there's just not enough spaces on the grid for the sharks. So I um, could have it so that there's a bigger grid. There aren't enough clones to represent the bigger grid, but you still could. Like I could make a 50 by 50 grid. Um, even then, they're not lasting that long. Okay, let's just forget that. Let's check something. Populate ocean. So I've got 200 by 200 grid, and it's just taking a very, very long time to do every step now. So just stop that. 50 by 50 grid. So I've just taken off the visualization because I thought you could get a bit of a better impression of what's going on. I mean, that's just going to take so long. So the fish fell down to 0 there, and that 50 by 50 grid as well. So that lasted 100 steps. So that does suggest that my grid isn't too small, which is what I was worried about. I was worried about the grid just being not enough size to allow the simulation to work. But I think if I've made it that big and it's still and it's running a few steps. It's just about getting those figures right. Okay, I'm gonna leave it for now, but I will come back with some research under my belt, and hopefully I'll have some idea of a good balance figures set of numbers, or also I didn't really know how to make the shark spawn, so maybe an idea about that as well, and try and get it. And what I really want to do is get that thing to run forever. Um, but getting those sim steps up into the thousands really is what I want. Okay, thank you for watching this. I know that pretty much no one did, but I will catch you when I have a better idea of the numbers.